welcome back to one of my videos. I hope you're well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Selina and I release a crochet tutorial and free patterns every week. And this week I'm bringing to you this beautiful crochet headband. It's so pretty and feminine. I love it. As always, the free pattern will be available on my blog. The link will be in the down bar. So for this project I used this yarn, which is called Drops Muskat, and this is 100% mercerized cotton yarn, and it is considered a light 3 DK weight yarn. And I used this shade, light yellow. I used this shade, which I think is called Desert Rose, and this shade, which is called Light Peach. All the materials will be linked in the down bar, so check that out. I also used a 4mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle. And that's all you will be needing for this project. I will be using US terms with British terms in brackets. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Okay, so for this part of the project, I am going to show you how to crochet this lovely flower. So yes, I'm just going to jump into the tutorial, and for the headband you will be needing 6 identical flowers. So to begin the tutorial, you will be taking your yellow yarn and you will be making a slip knot. So just go ahead, make a slip knot and pop your hook through, and now you will be chaining 4. So chain 1, 2, 3 and 4, and once you've chained 4 you will be slip stitching through the first chain to create a ring into which we will be working our first round. So let me just zoom in. And so now that I have my ring into which we will be working, what you are going to be doing is chaining 1, and this does not count as a stitch. And now you are going to be placing 12 single crochets inside the ring. So just place your hook directly into the center. Pull up a loop, you have 2 loops on your hook, and take your yarn and pull through both loops. And now go into the center again and place another single crochets, and just go ahead and place 12 single crochets inside that center. And just so you know, I do recommend working your loose end in while you place your single crochets. Reason being, we will be gently pulling on this loose end after we've completed this round, because we are going to be closing this up, if that makes sense. So just make sure that you fasten in your loose end as you go. So just go ahead and place 12 single crochets, and then I'll show you what to do then. Okay, so I've placed my 12 single crochets, as you can see, and now what you are going to be doing to finish off this round is slip stitching through the first single crochet that you did, like so. Okay, so for round 2 we are going to be taking the palest pink, I think this is shade 10, and just attach. So pop your hook through 1 stitch, and you can choose any stitch, but I'm going to choose the first stitch, and just attach your yarn. So I've pulled my yarn through, as you can see, and I'm just going to attach this yarn here. Okay, so now that you've attached your yarn, pop your hook through that same stitch and take your yarn, pull up a loop, and now you are going to be chaining 1, so this does not count as a stitch. And now that you've chained 1, you are going to be wrapping your yarn around your hook, go into that same stitch, pull up a loop, and you are going to be pulling this yarn up to create a little bit of height. Now go back, so wrap your yarn around your hook, go back into that same stitch a second time, and just do the same thing. Pull this yarn up a bit, and now go back a third time, and just repeat this process 4 times in total. So I've done this 3 times, and I'm just going to do it a 4th time. And I've pulled my stitch up, and now I'm going to take my yarn and pull through all loops on my hook and chain 1, and this creates the first petal. And we are going to be repeating this into each of the 12 single crochets from the previous round, so make sure that you count those and that you have 12 in total. And also I am going to be fastening in my loose end as I go, and so now I'm simply going to be wrapping my yarn around my hook, going directly into the next stitch and pull up a loop. And again, just make sure that you pull this so that you create a bit of a height, and just repeat the same process. So 2, 3, and 4. And now that you've done this 4 times, take your yarn and pull through all loops and chain 1. So I'm just going to show you in the next petal, and then I'll let you carry on your own. So just wrap directly, go in, pull up a loop, create a height once, twice, 3 times, and 4 times, and now pull through all loops on your hook and chain 1, and just repeat this process so that you have 12 petals in total, and then I'll show you what to do then. Okay, so now for the next round we are going to be attaching this yarn, which is shade number 6, and we are going to attach the yarn between petals. So this is a bit fiddly, so please bear with me, but you are going to be placing this yarn, attaching it between a petal, as you can see. And so we are now going to be working between the petals. So once you've attached your yarn, chain 1, 2, and 3, and this counts as your first double crochet. And what you are going to be doing is placing another 2 double crochets inside this space, and to create a double crochet, wrap your yarn around your hook, go into the space, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, take your yarn and pull through 2 loops, and take your yarn and pull through 2 loops, and that creates a double crochet. Now place another double crochet inside that space. Now chain 2, 1 and 2, and place another 3 double crochets inside this space. So 2 and 3, and the reason we are placing all these stitches inside this one space is this is our first corner of the square. So now that you've placed your first stitches, we are going to be going straight into the next space in between two petals. So and we are going to be placing 3 double crochets inside the next space. So skip this petal and go into the space directly with 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And now go directly into the next space with 3 double crochets, and as you can see, our square is gradually being made. So 3 double crochets, and now go directly into the next space, and once again this will be a corner, so place 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, and place another 3 double crochets, so that we have 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and now go into the next space with just 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and now go into the next space with 3 double crochets, and now go into the next space with 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, so chain 2 and another, sorry, this is quite fiddly, so 1, 2 and 3. So this is our third corner, as you can see, and so this creates our square. Now go directly into the next space with 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and into the next space with 3, 1, 2 and 3, and go into the next space with 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and this is another corner, so 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and now we have 2 spaces left into which we will be placing 3 double crochets each. So go into the next space with 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and into the next space with another 3, so 1, 2 and 3. And now that you've done this, as you can see, we've created our square. So I hope this was clear. So now that we've finished all our stitches, we are slip stitching through the 3rd chain from the chain 3 at the beginning to close off this round. Fasten off and pull through. And this is our square, and so don't forget to pull gently on the center to close the center like so. And now make sure that you sew in all your loose ends and fasten them off. I will be linking in the description box my video on how to fasten in loose ends. I'll let you do this, and I'll let you repeat this process another 5 times so that we have 6 squares in total, and then I'll show you what to do then. Okay, so I now have my 6 squares, as you can see, and I'm really pleased with how they look. And now I'm just going to show you how to sew them together to create your headband shape. And as you can see, I've lined them up. So I've taken a piece of yarn, as you can see, and placed it on my tapestry needle, and I am going to be sewing these 2 sides together. So I'm just going to be attaching my yarn like so, and just going through each square one by one. I am going to be using the mattress stitch, so let me just zoom in. So yes, I am using the mattress stitch. I'm trying to be as clear as I possibly can. And so I'm just going to sew these 2 sides together very simply. And once I've done that, I'm going to sew in this square. So you'll have just 1 seam, so I'm going to sew this part, sew this part, sew the next square, and so on. And then once I've sewed the 6 squares to create this shape, I'll get back to you. I just wanted to come back on camera briefly just to show you how I'm sewing in the top of the squares together, because obviously to create the square we chain 2, if you recall. So I'm just going to make sure that I kind of sew this in to give it the square shape. I hope this makes sense. So just take extra time to sew the top like so, just to give it that extra little shaping. And so now once we've done this, I'm just going to be knotting, creating a knot like so, gently of course, and then I'll be sewing in my loose end, and I'll let you carry this on, and then I'll show you what to do then. Okay, so as you can see, I've sewed all my squares together, and I've sewed in all the loose ends. So what I'm going to show you now is how to create the straps. So I have my yarn. I'm going to be using the same shade as our last round, and I think this is color number 6. And I'm just going to attach the yarn here on the corner. So I'm simply going to be attaching the yarn on our first corner. I might just do a double knot. And now, so let me just zoom in a teeny bit. Here we are. And now I'm going to pop my hook through this space. I'm going to take my yarn, and I am going to be chaining 50. So go ahead and chain 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I actually ended up chaining 40 and not 50, but 40. So now that you have 40 chains, you are going to be skipping the first chain from the hook and going directly into the second chain from the hook with a slip stitch. So pop your hook directly through that chain, pull your yarn through that loop, and then the second loop, and that creates your first slip stitch. Now go into the next chain and do this slip stitch, and just slip stitch through each and every chain, and then until the end of the chain, and then I'll show you how to finish this off. Okay, so I've reached the top of the chain, as you can see. So I've reached the project, and I've placed my last slip stitch into the last chain, and I'm just going to go into the space directly and slip stitch through that, just to secure, just to give that extra security on this project. Snip off your yarn and pull through. So pull your yarn through like so, and this creates your, this creates your first tie. I'm just going to de-zoom. And so now what you are going to be doing is placing a tie on each and every corner. So that's 4 corners in total. So just go ahead and repeat this process on this corner, and then repeat the process on these 2 corners on the other side. So in your loose ends, and then I'll get back to you. So here we go, I finished this headband. I'm so happy with the results. Let me know in the description box what you thought of this project. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. That really helps out my channel. And in the meantime, I'll see you in my next video.